Look, man, we've all started from zero at one point or another, and it's usually because we've made bad decisions or just got emotional and made more bad decisions, right? And I'm going to go through what I would do if I was actually starting from zero again. And for those of you watching for the first time, I always like to give a little background on myself. I've basically been playing for the last 2 decades, hopping about 4 times a week playing mid stakes. I don't have one type of strategy like GTO, ABC, or whatever. I really focus on two things. The first is making good decisions because at the end of the day, we do have control over that. And the second thing is I try and use strategies against my opponents and exploit them as much as possible, meaning I'm going to bluff without hesitating if I think somebody is weak. And after playing so many hands, you kind of pick up on these little things a lot quicker. Of course, as I'm getting in this, also want to let you guys know we have an awesome community in the pinned comment section, where you could talk to me one-on-one as well as with some other high-level members. And really, if you're just like stuck or hitting a wall at your current stake and just want to take things more seriously, I just recommend getting in there. Also, you can tap the like, and we're gonna get right into this. And this is also gonna run for like, I think between like 15 and 18 minutes. So, grab a bottle of water, some Gatorade or some coffee, and, let's lock in. And here's what I would do. I would probably just like stay away from the low stuff and kind of just save up enough to just play mid stakes. Now, I'm a little bit older, I'm a little bit wiser, and I think that my time is worth something. So you have to look at it like that as well. And this is really for kind of the people just wanting to take things more serious, right? You don't want to be spending 6 hours playing low games and, you look at your hourly rate and it's like a joke. You know what I'm saying? It just makes a lot more sense. Save up a little bit, play mid stakes and kind of go from there. If I was trying to like, there's a book called the Mental Game. It's by like Jared Tendler. That's a really good book. I would recommend checking out if you're having emotional issues. If it's not emotional issues, you might have fundamental issues. You do need to learn like the fundamentals like the back of your hand, right? GTO you should know without even thinking about it, without having to pull up a chart. You should obviously know all the ABC stuff. But, really the unlock happens, and I've said this before, when you know all of these different things and you see other opponents using these things, that's when you can kind of exploit them and open your game up. That's really the unlock. There is nuance to this. It's not easy. It's also... you're not always going to get things right. And in this one, I actually was wrong in a big spot. So here's what I want you guys to do. Just like sit back. We're going to go over these hands. Questions, comments, message me below. But you're not going to want to go anywhere because we do have a couple, sickening spots to go over here. And, we are going to start this up a little bit, as you guys can see. So that is where we're going to be at here. All right, anyways, I'm going to end up folding this one, I think. I mean, we do have a straight draw, but we got no spade. RIP to the 5-8 suited, man. See you later. See you later, buddy. On to the next one, right? And here we go. All right, 7-8 suited. Looking pretty nice here. See if we can make something happen with that 7-8 suited. All right, so I'm going to make a call here. No reason to raise it from, like, early position raiser. We could be putting player 6 on having some ace-x type hands, as well as some, like, mid-pocket pairs as well. But we did hit second pair here. We've got some runner-runner cards for spades. We got some straights that could also come in. I just checked this back over. 4 on the turn was a really good card for us. Gives us the straight draw. We could also hit another 8 or a 7 here. I'm expecting player 6 to just check this over, but he didn't. He went pretty small here. River card, we're looking for a 9 is totally fine. Not worried about the 9 at all. I definitely feel like we're ahead here. I just checked it down, but I was wrong. He had pocket queens, and I'm glad I didn't go for any value there on the river because it would have not been good for me. So the check back was actually pretty good, and we kind of got away with that. All right, so here we go. Now, this is the spot that, really where I was... now, keep in mind, I was sitting at this table for like an hour, so I kind of had a good feel for how everybody was playing. But sometimes you get it wrong, and that's just part of the game, man. You're not always going to get it right. This spot, I definitely got it wrong. But you know what? It's okay. It happens. But this is something here, guys. So, check this out. I'm going to raise this up, I believe. I slowed it down because, ace five, I mean, if it was offsuit, it's still a good hand, but when it's suited, man, it's a monster. You know what I'm saying? Ace five suited is a monster, okay? It can crack a lot of hands, for sure. And it's good for straights. It's much better than like ace three suited or ace four. Ace five, it gets you a lot of straights, man. I'll tell you. So I'm going to kick this up, 1250 piece. It's going to come back over to player 5, who is, I think, going to re-raise us, unless somebody else raised us. Let's check this out. Man, I'll tell you what here. Or maybe player 4 just folded it. And if we look at the table, clearly we were, doing the best here. All right, yeah, player 4 is going to kick it up to the 55 piece. We're not going anywhere at this point. But player 5 made things a bit interesting. He kicked it up to the 125 piece, okay? I mean, we're talking about, it's a lot of chicken nugs right there, dipping it in some BBQ right here, guys. And you know what? This is the play I made. Not exactly the one you always want to make, but I felt like player 4 might have a decent hand. I felt like player 5 might have just been bluffing this a little bit, Like I said, I was sitting at this table long enough to have a pretty good feel. We're blocking pocket aces. We're sort of blocking a lot of those ace, queen, ace, kings. I mean, you still run into it, but now when player 5 made the call on us, I was like, all right, this is not good, and this is just unfortunate, but get ready for this flop. And this stuff happens, guys. But I mean, are you kidding me right now? Are we really going to get there on the turn or the river? We just did, man. We just cracked pocket aces with ace 5 suited, making a very bad play. But here's the thing about this game, guys. Sometimes you make a bad play and it works out. Unfortunately for player 5, that was brutal, man. But, that was the play I made in that spot. And, didn't have to go that way. But that's the thing, man. Ace 5 suited, sitting at this table for like an hour, kind of getting a feel for everybody's playing. I go for a play to try to get everybody to fold, and we got lucky. I mean, there's no other way around it. And, I should have, lost, but I didn't. And it is what it is, guys. And I continued playing, even though I knew that was a bad play, but I also knew that ace 5 suited is sort of one of those hands that can crack some of those bigger hands, right? Doesn't always, but, it did in that spot. And I guess I'll just pat myself on the back for that. You know what I'm saying? I guess that's what I'm going to do right now. But kind of coming back to the whole point of this video, even though we got lucky there, cracking aces, if I was, and we've all been there, it's been a long time for me to start from zero, honestly. I would really just stay away from the low stuff. I would save up a little bit, play the mid games, and get in a community, dude. I mean, I think that's another unlock too. If you're kind of like going over hands with other people and talking to people who are playing higher, games than you're currently at, it can only help you out, right? And that's kind of what this is all about. We're all here to help each other improve, And if you want to do that, like I said, man, pin comment, time to get in it. If you've been watching the vids here, always posting, and, even though this one was, one of those spots where I just got lucky, I post the W's, I post the L's, and really everything in between. But if you made it to the end here, man, tap that like, subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.